So as things are returning to somewhat normal and people are traveling again, I thought I'd prepare a list of my favorite apps I use on my trips, and maybe some of them can be useful to you as well. Let's ramble.
Hold up, things go wild when I pull up. They all on me like it wants.
So yeah, I used to travel for my business all the time, like several times a month. I'd be on an airplane off to a meeting or a conference somewhere. Needless to say that all screeched to a halt in 2019, and I haven't seen the inside of a plane since. Until now, because I'm getting my second shot tomorrow, and Patty and I will be off to Portugal very soon to visit a close friend of mine who has recently moved there. He actually has a YouTube channel as well, so I'm looking forward to shooting some videos with him there. And if you're into dogs, definitely check out his channel. Anyway, traveling feels a bit rusty, and I noticed that I didn't quite remember which apps I used to plan my trips with, and also the apps I used during my trip. So I made a little list for myself, and I thought I'd share it with you guys so you can check out the ones that you don't know. A lot of these apps actually have companion apps for the Apple Watch, and some of those are actually super useful, so we'll be checking out some of those as well. If you don't own an Apple Watch, doesn't matter, all these apps to me are iPad apps first and Apple Watch second. By the way, if you're into travel tech, I did another video, kind of what's in my bag type of video, so you can go check that out if you're into that. All right, let's do it. There's a couple of apps I like to use to plan my trips. If you've been to my channel before, you probably know that I like to reduce the amount of paper I use to as little as possible. Not just for the environment, but also because paper gets lost too easily, and I just like to have access to my things wherever I am, and that includes prepping for my vacation. To organize my trips, I like to use Notion. You guys probably know Notion, so I won't go into too much detail, but what I like about this app is its customization. You can organize pages exactly the way you want them, so it's perfect for trips. But the cool thing about Notion is that it's also packed with templates. You could use them in case you don't feel like setting up your pages from scratch, like this travel planner. As you can see, it comes pre-filled, and of course you can pick and choose elements if you don't want to use it all. I do like the packing list since my brain is like a Swiss cheese and there's no way I will remember everything without a proper list. But you can also add your hotel information, insurance contacts just in case, things to go see. You can even add a travel journal where you note down your daily thoughts. Sky's the limit. The one downside of Notion is that it's not really available offline. To me, it doesn't matter too much. I'm such a data junkie that my iPad has its own SIM card, and even my Apple Watch is connected to a plan. But if you rely on offline work, or you go places where there's just not a lot of coverage, I can recommend Evernote. It's similar to Notion in ways, and you can set it to download all your stuff for offline use. Evernote's been feeling a bit stale to me lately, but it does have the offline advantage over Notion. Obviously, you're going to want to check the weather when you're traveling, and usually that's a boring affair. Not with Carrot Weather. This app is wild. Beside the fact that it's actually a very accurate weather app with detailed information, it's also hilarious. The app has a profanity setting, which lets you decide how vulgar your app will be when it's talking to you. Needless to say, I have it set up to overkill, and it cracks me up every time.
Nimbostratus clouds are black and full of rain, just like your heart.
This next one is a widget more than an app, but I use it a lot, and that is the world clock. I love the interface on the iPad and the fact that you can set as many time zones as you want. For me as a YouTuber, it's always good to know what time my audience is awake, and I love the fact that there is a widget for the Apple Watch face as well. So I can just quickly tap that and cycle through the different time zones. Really, really useful. This next one is baked right into iPadOS, and that is the Find My app. Guys, spend a few bucks on some AirTags and stick them in your bags. They're 29 bucks for one, and you can get a 4-pack for like $100. And that's a hell of a lot cheaper than losing your bags. I don't know about you, but I've had airlines tell me more than once they lost my luggage. Well, now you can see exactly where that luggage is, making this app an excellent bullshit detector as well. I keep one on my keys and in every bag, and it does make me feel a little bit more at ease. The next app I'll use is the Apple Wallet app. It's just super useful to organize your boarding passes, and then all you have to do when you get to the airport is scan your little Apple Watch and you're good to go. Also useful when you want to leave your wallet at home and you need to pay for some stuff. That does of course depend on the country. Apple Pay is not supported everywhere yet, but it's getting there. When I'm running around the airport, there are often things I want to note down really quickly, but we're on the move and I have my hands full. Moments like that, I really love this app called Just Press Record. This also has a clock face widget, so you can literally just press record on the big red button and start talking. The cool thing is that it syncs to your other iOS devices and it transcribes whatever you said. So when I have time to sit down, I just open my iPad and pick the pieces of text I want to use. I don't know about you guys, but traveling, especially by plane, can be a bit stressful. Security checks, delays, long lines at boarding. Mostly I feel like I'm running around like a headless chicken. So when you finally park your butt in that airplane seat, it's a good idea to decompress a little bit. I like to use this app called Headspace, which offers these little bite-sized guided meditation sessions. Just a couple minutes. Just pop in some earbuds or even better noise-canceling headphones and chill out. Now, usually that kind of stuff feels a bit hippie-ish to me, but Headspace is very low threshold, it's very straightforward, and it doesn't have that yoga vibe to it at all. Just effective little exercises that put your feet back on the ground. The next app might seem obvious, and that's because it is, and that is Booking.com. The reason I like this app so much is how easy it is to find and book a room in a certain radius around you. This time, we're visiting friends and we're probably gonna stay put for the most part, but usually we like to travel around when we visit a country, and we never fully plan these little trips out. It's much more fun to just start driving and see where we end up. And when the evening comes and we have decided where we want to sleep, we just sit down somewhere, have a drink, open the iPad, and book something close by. That way we never tie to schedules and we don't need to get antsy about getting back on the road. Another great one in a similar category is TripAdvisor. I don't like wasting a lot of time finding good places to eat, so I like to use TripAdvisor for that. It's full of good restaurant reviews and it's easy to locate something close by. It has many more options than that. You can also find cultural activities, but I use it mostly to hunt down good food. To get to those places when you don't have your own car with you, Uber is still an excellent option. You all know Uber needs no introduction, but I like the ease of use and it also talks to my Apple Watch, which is just very convenient. By the way, you can also use the Find My app to quickly share your location with your friends and your family. So if you ever find yourself in a situation that seems a bit iffy, that's a good thing to have. We've all been there. You find yourself in a shady taxi or you're not sure the area you just walked into is very safe. Just share your location and be a bit safer. Speaking of communicating with your friends and family, I like to use Telegram. I'm based in Europe, so not everybody's on iOS, and so I'm not a huge fan of messages and FaceTime. Telegram is cross-platform, so it can be used by anyone. It feels a bit like WhatsApp, but that has kind of fallen from grace lately, and people seem to like using Telegram. It's got a great iPad app, and it sends messages right onto my Apple Watch. I also like the fact that there's a bit of humor in there. My friends and I do like to smack that peach. When you know, you know. Now, when it's time to relax, I love listening to audiobooks. For this, I've been using Audible for many years, and I still really love it. Audible recently added Audible Plus, which is kind of like Netflix for audiobooks, and there's also Audible Premium. I have some affiliate links down in the description where you can try both of them for free. It doesn't cost you anything, and I get a little kickback for the channel. Everybody wins. I'm not a huge reader, I just don't have the time, and audiobooks are much quicker, but when I'm on vacation, I do appreciate an actual book to read. Of course, I'm talking about ebooks. And sometimes I will use this little guy right here. Currently, I'm reading a book about Jeff Bezos, which is super interesting. But if I want to pack as little as possible and I have to make decisions, I will bring my iPad and leave the Kindle at home. In that case, the Kindle app is perfect. And I really like the 2-page option. I don't know why, I just like the way it looks, especially on the iPad's crispy new Liquid Retina XDR display. The last app I'll mention is Lightroom. I love editing photos on my iPad. There's just something about editing using the Apple Pencil that you can't emulate on a computer. I love taking pictures, I just transfer them onto my iPad, give them a quick edit, and share them on Instagram or wherever. Alright guys, I hope the video was useful to you and you found maybe 1 or 2 apps you didn't know yet, or maybe you just forgot about them. If you did, give it one of these, it really does help the channel. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next one.